Jai Sachidanand.
Today is Dada's Gurupurnima. Dada is present in the complete form as the Self. For whatever energies we are lacking, we will connect with Dada Bhagwan and ask for those energies. We will get them. Today, we will not simply ask for energies for 2 times or 2 minutes. Ask for energies for hours and hours. Dada is present and he is with us. And we will get those energies. And the faults of our Prakriti will leave forever.
Chandra jevi che sheetalta purna swarupe Dada ava Dada mala madyu badum puri thai shodh tamam swarupe khiri Dada purnima keval na darshan thai e je swarup che maru je swarup hone Dada ek janai.
Self-realization. This level that we have reached is absolutely by the grace of Dada. It is said that when one merit karmas of infinite lifetimes comes to fruition, does one get the darshan of a Gnani. And moreover, one must get the link to obtain this Gnan. It is said that we've wandered infinite times through the 8.4 million types of births to reach the human form. And even then, we have taken infinite births in the hellish life form, in the celestial life form, in human life form, and in the animal life form. It takes billions of lifetimes just to go from the state of an unidentified, unnamed soul to the state of an identified embodied soul. After continuous development and after entering the state of an identified embodied soul, one evolves gradually from a one-sense living being to a five-sense living being. And even as a five-sense living being, there are so many births. And then to take birth in India takes so many lifetimes. One slowly develops from a primitive human being to a human being in the Western world and finally to a human being in India. And then even in India, there are so many. Dada says that there are very few fully developed human beings in India. There are 1.4 million layers of human development. Only the humans in the top 50,000 layers are developed enough for spirituality. And amongst this 50,000, our turn came to meet Dada. And we got the circumstance of receiving this Gnan.
પ્રભુ પંચમ કાળે આવ્યા છે પ્રભુ પંચમ કાળે આવ્યા છે સૌ પુણ્યશાળીને ભાવ્યા છે સૌ પુણ્યશાળીને ભાવ્યા છે તે શાશ્વત સુખડી લાવ્યા છે તે શાશ્વત સુખડી લાવ્યા છે જે અંગો અંગૂઠે અમૃત વરસે છે,
જે અંગૂઠે અમૃત વરસે છે,
તે પીને દિલડા હરખે છે,
તે પીને દિલડા હરખે છે,
જે પીવા દેવો તરસે છે,
જે પીવા દેવો તરસે છે.
સુન સખી મોરી આ દાદાને નમવાના અમને નીમ છે.
If one understands this value, then the worldly life will seem tasteless to him. He will experience indifference everywhere. In such a worldly life, we have encountered this magnificent circumstance, which no one has ever encountered before. So, from the new moon of infinite time, the second day of the rising moon has arisen. So we were struggling in the ocean of ignorance for infinite time to reach the shore of Gnani. Whatever we were able to grab onto, an oar, a float, a small boat, a steamer, we were ready to grab onto whatever we could find from the ocean of ignorance to reach the shore of Gnani. On this side is a shore of ignorance, and on this side is a shore of Gnani. In between is an ocean of ignorance. We tried to swim across it, but many times we were pulled back and almost drowned. Then someone would find us and rescue us. In the middle of this ocean, in this turmoil-filled ocean of the fifth era of Kali Yuga, we eventually encountered Dada's Akram rocket. It picked us up from where we were and placed us directly onto the shore of Gnani. And when we reached the shore, the way someone stranded at sea would feel relieved upon putting his foot on the shore, we experienced such happiness within. The burning we used to feel day and night, the way a rope burns, we had intense suffering. Dada blew that away in 1 hour with a single wipe. He destroyed them. He brought us out of the suffering. And we experienced the pure soul within. Be it just the second day of the rising moon, but with that little bit of light, the darkness of infinite time is left. Now the real spiritual effort to go from the second day of the rising moon to the full moon stage is in our hands.
દાદાના જ્ઞાન થકી દેખાય છે ઉજળા, નથી હજી સાફ થયા કાયાના કપડા. ધમધમાવો પુરુષાર્થ એક એક શ્વાસમાં, ગાંઠ ને ના ગાંઠ છૂટે કાયાના લફરા.
Only when so many people's extraordinary merit karma came into fruition did a Gnani like this manifest, and this Gnan was revealed. Otherwise, where would it come from? How could one meet such a Gnani? In this era of the time cycle, it's not possible for a Gnani like this to exist. Whoever has tremendous merit karma gets this link. Tens of millions of people watch our program on TV, but how many people are able to come here? According to us, there are a lot of people here, but not if you compare the two. It's because everyone doesn't have the required merit karma. They may have everything, but not the required merit karma. If they have the passport of merit karma, then they can be pulled here and be joined with us.
બધા લાખ લાખ અવતાર થી બધા બૈરા છોકરા છોડીને બેઠા બિચારા. લાખ અવતારે મોક્ષમાં ના જાય તો જ્ઞાની પુરુષ મળે તે મોક્ષનો દાન આપવા નીકળ્યા હોય. શું કર્યું ભાઈ?
મોક્ષનો દાન.
એક કલાકમાં એના બધા કરોડ પાપ પસરી નાખ્યું. નહીં તો કરોડ અવતારે જે ના બને તે આ કામ એક કલાકમાં થાય. એવા લોકોના પુણ્ય જાગ્યા.
એટલે એ કેવી જાતનું કે બધા એકી સાથે આવીને આપને મળે.
એનું પુણ્ય જાગવું અને એના માટે નિમિત્ત જોઈએ. મારો આ ટાઈમમાં જવતા થાય. શું થાય?
When Dada was in his mortal body, I was here as well, but we never met, so I feel that my merit karma were insufficient. Now, when we are singing Dada's praises, I feel that I am so fortunate that while in this body, you have awakened my soul.
That's correct.
So I am double-minded.
No, but it's such that we had an obstruction for meeting him in person.
Correct.
Because of that, we were not able to have Dada's live darshan. But there was no obstruction for the Gnani. Therefore, you received it. You received the agnas and the path of moksha. But some mistake must have remained. We might have spoken something wrong due to which we didn't meet in person. But if we look at it in another way, we get Dada's darshan in videos. We feel such a strong connection with him at the subtle level that we must have met Dada in a previous life. In between, there was a small gap, but now everyone is having such an experience as if they have met him. We should say, "Oh, our extraordinary merit karma. We are so fortunate that this rare opportunity has come. Blessed are our merit karma that we have met such a Gnani." Yesterday, Kaviraj had sung, "How fortunate we are to get this opportunity to see a Tirthankar's stature in the body of Dada." We're so fortunate. We should sing these praises. We have boarded the train. Now there's no need to talk about where we had wandered before coming here. Sit in the train and know that Mumbai or the final station will come. Enjoy, eat some good food. Because in the past, we had met Tirthankars, but we fell back. We lost the opportunity of the Tirthankars in order to spend our life for the wife and kids. And the wife lost the opportunity of the Tirthankars in order to spend her life for the husband and kids. Now we will let worldly interactions go on, but we won't let go of Dada. Did you understand? Now we will get our work of moksha done.
પણ કે દાદા ભૂલાતા નથી એનું એવી રીતે કેવું કે પુણ્ય બાંધણ કે આ દાદા ભૂલાતા નથી.
કેવું પુણ્ય કહેવાય?
એ પુણ્ય બહુ ઊંચું જબરદસ્ત છે. પુણ્યાનુબંધી પુણ્ય જે મોક્ષે લઈ જાય એવું પુણ્ય. મોક્ષે લઈ જાય.
There is an incident which happened here in Ahmedabad in Dada's presence. On New Year's Day, a bus full of Mahatmas left from Ahmedabad to do darshan of Dada in Vadodara. They reached Vadodara and came and did Dada's darshan straight away. Dada was happy and gave everyone blessings. He said, "It's praiseworthy that you did this spiritual effort coming here in a bus on New Year's Day for darshan." Then we fed all of them. They went to eat, and Dada went to eat, and then he rested. After a little while, Dada woke up and asked all of us, "Where is Kasturbai and the other Ahmedabad Mahatmas?" One Aptaputra replied, "They all left." Dada asked, "How come?" The Aptaputra said, "They were going to go on a pilgrimage in between and then head back to Ahmedabad. So they have left for Pavagadh." You should have seen how Dada reacted after that. He said, "Call them right now. Summon Kasturbai back here, right now, right now." Dada reprimanded them. He said, "What are you up to? How could you do this? This darshan is so valuable, and in the middle you gave out all this commission? The value dropped by that much." When you leave home, it should be in your mind all the time that we are going to do darshan of a Gnani Purush to stay in his presence. On New Year's Day, we are to do darshan of the full moon stage, and from that we receive so many energies. Instead of that, they adulterated it. One will think we will go to do darshan at the temple. We will do darshan, and at the grocer's, if he's there, we will buy some vegetables. Then we will meet our friends and gossip. And we will also stop by Champa's place to see if she's had a baby boy or a baby girl. Like that, they do darshan as well as other things. See at how many places they incurred a loss. And another person will think, I only want to do the darshan of God, nothing else. It is nothing but entertainment. The mind needs food. It's not interested in the devotion of God. It wants to go on an outing. They will say, to go for an outing, we are going to do darshan of God. To where? They will say, we are going to Palitana, we are going to Pavagadh, Summit Shikhar. Summit Shikhar is too far, so they wouldn't go there. But they find reasons like this. An outing. This is entertainment for the mind. It does not get credited in the account of the pure soul. Don't underestimate a Gnani. Gnanis are very shrewd. He called Kasturbai. He had not even reached home and he got a call. Dada told him, as soon as you reach Ahmedabad, get on to the next bus back to Vadodara. Otherwise, you've had it. You were told so, weren't you? You got the phone call, didn't you? Poor Kasturbai was sweating, wondering, what happened? What happened? He had got a hint of what had happened. He would usually get pain in his heart, and so he would say, I'm hurt. My foundation has been shaken. So Dada would forgive him. But his daughter Chaya immediately left to come back, saying, Dada said, so I'm going. She reached the next morning, but as soon as she arrived, she said, Dada, I made a mistake. Dada, I made a mistake. Then how could Dada scold her? If the mind has become agitated, unstable, if it is interfering and showing a variety of thoughts, I will do this, it will happen like this, how will I do it, how will it be done, will it be acceptable? The sky isn't going to fall. Dada has taken on the responsibility for moksha. Dada has even said it to the extent that he said it very clearly one day. Not just one day, but many times. Sarjanand Swami told his disciples, we're guaranteeing you a piece of bread. A piece of bread. Whereas Dada said, we are guaranteeing you a feast. A feast. There will be no shortage in whatever we eat every day. If one day we get 2 curries and another day we get only 1 curry, well, we cannot consider that to be a shortage. If we didn't get curry but we got lentils, then that cannot be considered a shortage. Like that, we don't face any shortage. But our mind is so restless that it thinks, now what will happen? How will it happen? So it's like this. It makes everything unstable. The narrow-minded intellect makes everything unstable and the mind becomes emotional in a storm of thoughts. Then the intellect, the ego, they all erupt. When this mischief arises, we should say, Oh Dada, I've surrendered to you. I've surrendered to you. I surrender my mind, my intellect and the ego to you.
Go to Dada, go to Dada.
I have nothing to do with it, nothing to do with them whatsoever. Then all of these will calm down. Because before receiving this Gnan, we surrendered everything at Dada's feet. Thereafter, this seed of Gnan sprouted. We acquired the state of the second day of the rising moon. Otherwise, without surrendering, we would not be able to progress at all. And as that feeling of surrender becomes stronger, up to 100%, we can progress further to the stage of absolute knowledge. However much we have, you can call it my garbage, my good quality karmic stock, or my bad quality karmic stock, or my filled karmic stock. Whatever you want to call it, I surrender it all to you. I am a river and you are an ocean. The ocean is so vast that it can receive the water of all the rivers in the world. So please accept all of my garbage, Dada, and set me down at the final station.
अक्षय समृद्ध स्वयं रसानंद कीर्तन नवधा भक्ति हो चित्त चुंबक आदादा स्मृति धन निज रूप निधि ध्यासन हो.
Dada had said, do our nididhyasan, visual contemplation. The more nididhyasan you do, the more nididhyasan you do of the Gnani, the more you become one with him. You become like him. By doing nididhyasan, you can become that form. It is mentioned in the scriptures that by doing the nididhyasan of a butterfly, an insect eventually becomes a butterfly. This is how literary scholars and poets describe it. Similarly, whatever we do nididhyasan of, we become that form. Be it Dada's body, his facial features, how he walks, how he talks. So the nididhyasan of his body, then the nididhyasan of his speech is continuously heard. The words remain in your awareness. If you heard or read something of his, then it keeps resonating within. Dada is talking to us, explaining to us, and we are understanding. That keeps going on within.
एक आँख थी ज्ञानार्क झलके बीजी माँ तुझ दर्शन आभव दादा अखंड रहे जो सपना माँ पण निधि ध्यासन आभव दादा अखंड रहे जो सपना माँ पण निधि ध्यासन.
કે દાદાના મનનું નિધિધ્યાસન કેવી રીતે કરાય?
આ જે અમારું મન ટેન્શન વગરનું હોય છે ને એ નિધિધ્યાસન ટેન્શન રહિત મન થી તમે દેખો વડાપણ ટેન્શન રહિત દેખાય ને એ મન છે. ટેન્શન રહિત
તમે આપનું વાક્ય એવું હતું કે અમારા દેહનું નિધિધ્યાસન મહાત્માઓ કરી શકે, વાણીનું નિધિધ્યાસન પણ થાય, પણ અમારા મનનું નિધિધ્યાસન જો કોઈ કરે તો તે અમારા જેવો થઈ જાય.
હા પણ એ મનનું નિધિધ્યાસન ટેન્શન રહિત મન ટેન્શન રહિત થઈ જાય. ટેન્શન રહિત મન તમારા મનના વિચાર પર પકડો ને મારું મન જોયા કરો કે દાદાને કેવું સરસ મને રાખ્યું જોયા કરો તો એવું થઈ જાય. મન પૂરા કોઈ કરતું હોય તે ઘરે કરવું દાદાનું મન કેવું છે મન ડિપ્રેશન અને એની વેગવેગ થયા દાદાનું ડિપ્રેશન મન કેવું સુંદર છે. આ મનની તો વાત જ ન કરવા જોઈએ ને. એટલે આપડે દાદાનું મન કેવું સરસ રહેશે બોલ્યા કે તરત એમનું નિધિધ્યાસન થયું. બીજું શું એ આપણું મન થતું દાડ 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 એક જુએ એ મન બીજું જુએ તારે થાય ને એવું જોયા વગર જ થાય જોઈ જ ના થાય છે ને.
Today, on the occasion of Gurupurnima, we will listen to Dadaji's message. Let us stop defending our faults. Let us stop defending our Prakriti. Now, after Gnani, we have begun to see many of our faults. There's pride, greed, illusory attachment, the faults of sexuality, doing the way one wills and wants. Then there are tiny faults, like watching TV, eating too much, speaking hurtful language, telling a lie. Why aren't those faults coming to an end? Even though we know it's wrong, why does it not end? Because somewhere within, we are protecting it.
We need to destroy all of these mistakes. Dada has said, the one who destroys a single mistake of his will one day become the absolute self. What a beautiful thing Dada has said. If we see our own mistake, destroy it and it leaves, then we become the absolute self. We've been shown such a nice path to become the absolute self. So then why don't we start destroying our mistakes? And to see the mistakes of others brings a veil over our intuition. The energy of intuition that was blossoming is covered up. And if it becomes covered too much, then that callousness will not let us see our mistakes. And if someone were to show us our mistake, we would defend it and strengthen it. We solidify the fault. During Dada's time, there was a nice incident related to defending one's faults. One woman was doing vidhi at Dada's feet. She was loudly chanting, "I am pure soul, I am pure soul." She was saying the vidhi very loudly. Then after the vidhi was over, Dada told her, "Do you see the faults of your husband?" She said, "Yes, from morning till evening, that's all I see." So then Dada asked, "Can you see your mistakes?" So she said, "No, I don't commit any faults." "What if your husband were to point out your mistake?" "How can that be? If he were to point out my mistake, I would not accept it." Dada said, "Then you shouldn't be saying, 'I'm pure soul, I'm pure soul.' If you're defending your mistakes this much, then you cannot say, 'I'm pure soul, I'm pure soul.' You're deceiving your soul." Dada went to the extent to say, you're deceiving your soul and you're also deceiving the Gnani. He said, how can you defend your faults? Disclose your faults. Don't cover them up. Disclose them. The more you disclose them, the more the faults will leave. And if you disclose your faults in front of the Gnani, you will become one with him. You will come close to him, become one with him, and you will get the path to become free from the fault.
टड़े सहु भूल जो उपराणा लीधा तो डुल.
Dada says if you side with a mistake, that mistake keeps getting extended.
આ બીડી છે તે થોડા દાડાની વ્યસન થઈ ગયું હોય વર બે વરનું તો છૂટી જાય તો થોડે ને હા એ અહંકાર કરીને છોડે ને તો ફરી પ્યાઈ જાય પાછું અહંકાર કરીને છોડે ને ફરી પ્યાઈ જાય પણ જો બીડી એ ક્યારે ઉપરાવું ના લે કોઈક આટલા બધી બધી સભામાં કે તો મને કહેતા ઉકો દાદા ઉકો અમે ભાઈ અમારી નબળી છે અમે જાણીએ છીએ ઉપરા લીધું 20 વર્ષ વધારે જીવે.
If a mistake is defended, then Dada says there's a 20-year extension. One defends their addiction, but it's the same with all mistakes. What is truly considered a mistake? Anger, pride, greed, deceit, illusory attachment, doing as per one's own will, sexuality and sexual impulses. These are the major mistakes. And even they are being protected.
For instance, if there is anger or there's pride, let me give you an example of each so that you can understand how it is. Now, anger and deceit, their job is to protect. We are distinguishing and analyzing the subtle Prakriti and sharing it with you. Now, all of you need to see where and how this analysis fits you. Don't leave behind this analysis for me to use. Each of you should apply this analysis the way it seems applicable to you, and you should keep checking it within. These 4, anger, pride, deceit, greed, of these, anger and deceit, these 2 are to protect. They are both in support, to protect. They are not the main players, they are the protectors. Pride and greed are the main players, the base. Anger protects pride, and deceit protects greed. This is because the covert ones get along well with each other, and the overt ones get along well with each other. So these pairs are formed. Now when deceit pairs up with pride, when there is a crisscross, then understand that this has gone to extreme levels. Deceit pairs up with pride. Pride has gone to the extreme. Similarly, if anger pairs up with greed, then understand that greed has reached extreme levels. Are you all following the point we are trying to make? We understand that they are each other's permanent evil companions to a certain level. But when they enter the wrong side, meaning when greed and pride have taken anger and deceit respectively for their protection, they already have one protector. For instance, greed already has deceit as its protector, but now it has enlisted anger as well. So it gets strong protection. It took the help of anger as well. So then the person will not be able to realize his greed. There will be intense veils of ignorance. Double the veils will increase manifold. On this side, it is the same for pride. Anger keeps protecting pride. If one's pride is wounded, then anger immediately erupts. The moment he feels a little insulted, many have such intense pride that if things don't get done as per their will, anger erupts and they become furious. Anger manifests in 2 forms. One is when it remains within, and the second is when it comes out. If a person is angry within, then the ones close to him will come to know that he's angry within. The ones close to him will come to know. Through their intellect, they will come to know that this is going on within him. But once it manifests externally, then that's the end. It has come to the gross level. Anger manifests at the gross level to protect pride. If one's pride is wounded, if he's insulted, if things don't go his way, if he doesn't get the respect he wants, if he doesn't get enough respect, then anger arises and he reacts. Once the reaction happens, when they become protectors, when they all come to protect, then understand that it is now going to be difficult to remove the mistakes because the protectors have arrived. They've got so much protection. If there is only one, then we can tackle it. But if there is an army to take care of, then we have to go to war to conquer it. So we have to make intense spiritual efforts, extraordinary spiritual efforts. So this is protection. And moreover, if deceit pairs up with pride, then that's the end. Then that person will not be able to come out of it on his own. He will have to tell us, please hold my hand and pull me out. But first, he himself has to realize it. Otherwise, he will not allow us to hold his hand. He will give us a high five and escape. Even if we attempt to hold his hand, he will say, no, there is nothing like that with me. So we understand that all the protectors, the battalions have arrived. This is actually our own experience that we're sharing. We have personally experienced this and we have gone through it, and that is what we are telling you. Whatever we are saying, we have seen ourselves go through all of it. We were able to grasp it. And Dada was there to mentor us. He would sit us down and tell us, remove this, remove this, remove this. So, we are saying all of this based on our experience. Whatever is coming out in words, back then we didn't have it in words, but it was there in our experience. We tried to see it in Samaik and we were able to do so, and it has remained within. And now, as various instrumental doers are coming forth, these experiences are being shared. They will be of help to you. We have only one goal, that they become helpful, that someone's work gets done because of them and they become free. It's worth becoming free because there is so much mischief of these kashais. For infinite lives, these kashais have bound us. And how have they bound us? If it was with shackles of iron or some other metal, then we would somehow have broken them and escaped. But these shackles are not made of any metal. Kavi has sung, the self within has become imprisoned by shackles which are not made of any metal.
હું મારે ઘેર લોકો આવે ને ત્યારે કહેતો હતો ભાઈ આ હું તો ચોરીને લાવેલો છું, આ ચોરીને લાવેલો છું. કે ના, એવું ના બોલશો, ના બોલશો. કારણ શું કે એવું બોલીએ ને તો આપણું મન થશે પછી બંધાઈ જાય, ફરી ચોરી નહીં કરે. તું જે કઈ ખોટું કરતો હોય તે તું બધાને રૂબરૂ કહી દઉં તો ભાઈ કરે ખરું? મન ના કરે. માટે કરજે રસ્તો હું ઘડું કરી દેજે ને. નહીં કરું?
હા, કરી દીધું. જરૂર
જે ખોટા ગુના થાય ને કહી દેજે ને આવું થઈ ગયું મારે. સાહેબ ના બસ
હોય ને? હોય હોય.
હા, એવું દાપણ કરતી ઘણા પાપ ઉડી જાય. શું ક્રોધ માન રહેલું બધું જતું રહે. આમ જો ખોરાક ના પણ 3 વર્ષ જીવે એવા છે. નક્કી કરે કે આથી મારે ખોરાક નથી આપવો એટલે એનું ઉપરાળું ના જ લે. ગમે તે સ્થિતિમાં પણ એનું ઉપરાળું ના લે. ઉપરાળું લે કે 20 વર્ષ જીવે પાછું.
If a father is scolding his son, if he's getting angry with him, and if someone says, "Why are you scolding him so much?" he will reply, "It's worth scolding him. Otherwise he will not straighten up." So in this way, he sided with his charitra moh, the discharge illusory attachment. When it was time for his charitra moh to shed off, he defended it and held on to it. He didn't let it shed off.
The last sentence says, however much charitra moh dissolves, without having any illusory attachment, that much samadhi, a blissful state free from any suffering, remains within.
At that moment, nothing arises within him. If someone asks him, "Why are you scolding him?" he says, "Yes, I made a mistake." He lets it go. If he's asked, "Why are you misbehaving like this?" he says, "Yes, that's right." He sees his own mistakes and feels, "Yes, this is a mistake, true." If he scolds and someone says scolding is wrong, then he can see this is wrong. I should not scold him. So if one can see like that, then his charitra moh ends. It sheds off. But if he defends it, if he becomes one with it, if he gets engrossed in it, then it doesn't shed off. It remains pending. Dada has given us a few really nice examples. So many similar things are happening in our lives as well. If you're cooking and some food gets spoiled and the husband tells you off, "You spoiled this and you did this," then you immediately say, "This can happen once a while, why fuss over it?" So it remains pending. But if you say, "Yes, it has spoiled, I will take care the next time," then it ends. If he says, "The children are like this and you're not paying attention to them," and if you say, "How can I take care of everything all day long? Should I do this or should I do that?" So again, it remains pending. Without covering it up, say, yes, I'm unable to handle everything. My bad. Even I realize it's like this and it's like that. Then it ends this way. In this way, Dada says, discharge the charitramo, empty it and become free from it. If you keep following this method, then it will keep emptying out. And the more you defend it by saying, no, this is correct, this and that, then you're not seeing it. You're not seeing the mistake-filled charitramo. You're not seeing it. Practice seeing it. Piyush, don't argue if someone's telling you you're doing this and that. From your viewpoint, you may think my viewpoint is correct. But since he's saying something, his point is also valid, isn't it? And of what importance is your point? Do you want to roam around the world as the world's Harishchandra, a legendary Indian king known for telling the truth? There's nothing like that. Your points are questionable and vague as well. Do you understand? If someone tells you something, then listen to him. Don't brush him off like this. Do you understand? There, if you don't support your mistake, then it sheds off. Your worldly interactions will shine, they'll become outstanding. You'll feel so relaxed and easy. You won't feel the burden of doership. If you keep it this way, then the one telling you will not become a file for you. He will feel so good dealing with you. But the mortal one, he doesn't accept it. He just doesn't accept it. The reason is, he cannot see it. He doesn't see it. Someone is showing him his mistake, but he is not seeing it. Even if you can't see it, you can simply accept it. Yes, it is my mistake. That is considered as seeing the mistake. The matter ends there. And anyways, whose mistake is it? It is not my mistake. It is Piyush's mistake. Then you will be able to progress. Otherwise, by brushing it off,
मन वच काया टेवो उपराणा लेता चोट से जानी जो उपलक हिसाबे चोखा छूट से
The ego gets protected. The prakriti gets protected. I really want to give up watching TV, but I'm unable to do so. If we ask them, what steps have you taken to solve it? No, but see, we live in a modern age. If we don't have all the information, then we will come across as outdated. We need to know a little bit. We should know what the state of the world is. We must know. That is where it gets nourishment. He wants to give up watching TV. He's wasting his time. But only if we know what is happening in the world will we be considered modern. Now this nourishment, which was given to the mistake in order to be modern, will lead to its extension. Faults of sexuality are not coming to an end. He thinks, it's really wrong. I'm repenting a lot. But there must be some pleasure in it. He surfs the internet and does other wayward things, but says, there's no problem in this. It's my filled stock of karma. It's coming out. I have to settle it, don't I? He'll say drinking tea is my file. So he's protecting the act of drinking tea and siding with it by calling it a file. So it should be with the awareness that I want to become free from this mistake. Dada says, smoking cigarettes is wrong. This is the first step. In what ways is smoking harmful? In what ways is this fault dangerous? How will coming out of it be beneficial? Come to that second step. Third, however many times that fault occurs, repent a lot for it. And fourth, do not side with the mistake. Then the karmic tuber will break. To break all the karmic tubers, we have these 4 steps and 5 levels. They will have to be applied. For each level, These 4 steps will be needed. Do you feel pleasure? While working on level 3, you think, no, but what is wrong in taking a little bit of pleasure? Hey, but in taking that pleasure, we lost the bliss of the self. Bliss is only in the self. It's not in the prakriti or in the 5 senses at all. But what can a person do if he gets bored? I watched a movie or a TV show. Boredom is the prakriti's part and you protected it? You fulfilled your illusory attachment, and on top of that, you say, there's no problem in that, so it will get extended. Dada says that if you don't feed your faults for 3 years, then they'll vacate the house and leave. And if they eat just once, then they'll get a 20-year extension. So they're getting nourished somewhere. The faults are being protected somewhere. We make so many efforts. We do samaik. We read Dada's speech. We try to understand Dada's speech. We repent. We adjust with people. We do pratikraman. And yet, why are interferences still happening 15 years later? Somewhere, we are siding with the faults.
When some incident is taking place, we become so engrossed. We only realize it later.
Even if you realize it later, at that time, you should separate it. Do pratikraman, analyze it, understand its real form.
At that time, I end up protecting it.
But once the jagrati arises, release it from that protection. This won't do. This is wrong. We will not do this again. If the protection of it stops, then you can progress further. However many times it is protected, the false hold will remain strong. It gets power when it is protected. If it is no longer protected, then it will stop getting power. Dada has given a nice shortcut to Mahatmas for this. If the Prakriti becomes wavered, then you should oppose it. You should have an antagonistic opinion towards it. I am not in agreement with this. I oppose this. In this way, whenever we realize the antics of this Prakriti, we should begin this. I will oppose it if it happens again. I will not make this mistake again. Keep it this way.
That's correct. We miss opposing it. Many times, we feel pleasure in it.
Yes, even if we feel pleasure, our opposition should continue within. It doesn't matter if Megesh is enjoying the pleasure, but I don't want it. I do not agree to this. I am free from this. I am separate. We should keep hammering this every now and then. Do you understand?
Niruma, the charitra moh that the other person discussed about, that it should be suppressed with a lot of opposition, but by suppressing it, will it not bounce back like a spring, whatever lies within?
Whatever you do, we are not on your side. We do not agree to it. Whatever you show, we are in opposition of it. The way it was in the parliament. There are 2 political parties, the BJP and Congress. The BJP was the ruling party, but it didn't have a clear majority. Many other parties joined together and the BJP became the ruling party. So who was left in the opposition party? Congress. Now whatever resolution needs to be passed, if the BJP sends a proposal, then no matter what, Congress will oppose it. Even if the country will benefit with the Narmada proposal, they will oppose it. They will oppose it even if an enemy country is going to suffer. To oppose means to simply oppose. They are not concerned with anything else. They oppose every matter. This confirms that Congress is the opposition party. It is on the opposing side. It will never support the BJP. That has been proven. Now there are other coalition parties within BJP. There are so many. As such, they're with BJP. But in some matters, the coalition parties feel, we don't agree with BJP's resolution. So they don't overtly oppose the proposal when it is sent to the parliament. What do? They walk out. They don't vote. So they didn't oppose it outright. They didn't join the opposition party and oppose it. They remained on the same side and opposed it. So no matter how much they oppose it, they're still on the same side. Whereas Congress, it is 100% clear that they are in opposition. They are the opposition party. Do you understand? This is how it works. If we don't oppose it, then it feels that somewhere deep down we are on their side. I oppose it 100%. I strongly oppose it openly. Then there is no scope for any proposal of yours, be it good or bad. It certainly does not belong to my real self. It belongs to the non-self. If it is good, it belongs to the non-self, and if it is bad, it also belongs to the non-self. It is of no use to me. I oppose it. To oppose is a very powerful tool. Experiment with it. Then there is simply opposition. Congress members simply bang their chairs and oppose. Then there is nothing after that. Whether the resolution gets passed or not, they are not concerned about it. To oppose means they're simply opposing. They create a scene. That's it. Oppose. Similarly, by being on the side of the self, we should oppose the non-self.
They have become so habituated with opposing that even if something is beneficial to them, they oppose it.
There is no talk of seeing the benefits. You have to check which party it is. We should see whether it is the party of the self or the non-self. If it is the party of the non-self, even if it is something good, I oppose it. Even if you get an offer to become the Prime Minister, you have to say, I oppose it. Even though it is a lucrative deal, you wouldn't get carried away. They say, let's go for a few days, let's go and try our hand at it. Niruben will somehow manage things here. No, it shouldn't be like that. I oppose it. To oppose means you oppose every single matter.
Today, let's firmly decide on the goal for this year. Where are we defending the Prakriti? Defending the Kashais, defending the pleasures derived through the five senses, defending our illusory attachment, defending our desire to get things done our way. Lying, stealing, violence, adultery, possessiveness, all these types of faults are being protected somewhere. Only a few of them are in the form of major karmic tubers. Someone's tuber of pride might be big. Someone's tuber of greed might be big. Someone's tuber of sexuality might be big. And someone's tuber of getting things done their way might be big. Or having control. I should have a controlling influence over the entire department. And we are doing Dada's work. I'm giving understanding to everyone and getting the work done. You help everyone, but you make them do the way you will and want. You keep control. And this fault keeps getting nourished. If we were to check, why are such errant words being uttered? If we investigate it at the subtle level, we are doing nothing but protecting our actions. We keep defending them, so to side with the mistakes, to protect them, to defend them, to twist the matter. It's not my mistake. I did it because you told me to. You think I would do something like this? So he twists it, he contorts the facts. If we study what we speak, then we will realize that we are siding with our mistakes. Let's resolve to stop defending our mistakes. And that too, who is the one defending the mistakes? The discharged ego, the intellect. It's the Prakriti that sides with the Prakriti. But Jagrati should remain for us. Dada says, if you defend the Bhavo, then you will give rise to the Mangaldas for the next life. And if you defend the Mangaldas, then you will remain as the Bhava. So, we are siding with this Bhava and this Mangaldas. This is precisely what we don't realize. Oh, we're defending it here. The ego defends the Prakriti. The intellect defends the Prakriti. And we should see them separate. Why are you defending it? Do you want to become free of the mistakes, or do you want to nourish them and increase them? If Jagriti is maintained there, then we will stop defending them. Our Jagriti of separation will increase. And the layers of the mistakes will gradually keep reducing and come to an end. So today, on the occasion of Gurupurnima, let's ask Dada for the energy to remain in such Purusharth that our karmic tubers come to an end. And in case I defend my mistakes due to unawareness or a lack of understanding, then please shower your grace. Please give me Jagriti. Give me the energy so that I don't commit this mistake. May I stop defending. May I remain Jagrut. And may these tubers dissolve. It's my goal for this life to become free from the karmic tubers of anger, pride, deceit, greed. O Dada Bhagwan, please shower your grace so that I can accomplish this goal. May I remain in the state of the self by staying in the 5 agnas. May I not side with the faults of the Prakriti. And may I become free from the karmic tubers. We will ask for energy from Dada Bhagwan, and we will remain Jagrut, Jagrut, and ever Jagrut. And we will complete the Purusharth of moksha. We will get our work of moksha done.
Jai Satchidanand.
Let's do a nice vidhi today. Let's take Dada Bhagwan's blessings and ask for the missing energies with regards to our weaknesses and shortcomings. Let's all do the vidhi. Close your eyes. Everyone please repeat. I surrender my mind, speech, and body, all illusions related to my name, bhav karma, dravya karma, and no karma, at the lotus feet of Dada Bhagwan.
Oh, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu,
Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu, Shuddhatma Chu.
Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand to all Mahatmas.
Jai Satchidanand.